was great, exciting battling. However, at the moment, there is this rule, and it was very, very clear to me that Sebastian just didn't leave enough space in that situation, and therefore it was an unsafe return, and therefore the rule was it was there, and the penalty was justified.
I think if you were in Lewis's situation, you would have done exactly what Lewis did, and if you were in Sebastian's situation, you'd have done exactly what Sebastian did. And I'm not suggesting that you would try and stop.
Can I ask you a question? I got a question for you. Do you think there would have been a collision had Lewis not backed out and would have stayed flat out on the throttle? Do you think there would have been a touch of wheels or a touch with a wall?
Nico, you know best about not backing out situations with Lewis, and I think that there were many times, or a couple of times I can think of, when you two guys came very close and actually did touch. In this instance, nothing happened. They both avoided it, and I think it was a very good job of Sebastian to actually collect it and actually not lose control and stay on the track. And maybe in the back of his mind was thinking, I'm not going to let enough room so that Lewis gets through. So we're racing drivers. We always try and stop the guy from getting past if we can.
You know, the drivers have asked
exactly.
to tell Logan to race.
Not leave enough room for Lewis to get through, and that's what he's not allowed to do. That's precisely the problem.
Yeah, well, we can't.
Lewis is not stupid, so he'll also understand where Toto's coming from in that sense. Have a bit of understanding for that, and still it's not gonna hurt his performance on the way to becoming the greatest of all time statistically and beating Michael Schumacher with that 8th title. Come on, I mean, Lewis knows how to focus.
Was that drive a drive from a true champion, do you feel?
Yeah, hi, it's good to be on the show. And I was massively enjoying that race yesterday. I think to all F1 fans, I think everybody was thrilled because it was so exciting. And really, no one would have thought that Lewis has any chance of coming close to the win yesterday. And yet, in the end, once again, it was an absolute masterclass. And he showed once again that he's the best out there. And a phenomenal achievement, those 7 titles. Weakness for a couple of races, and those are the moments you just need to maximize. Then you have to win every single one of those races to keep Lewis down in the ropes for as long as possible, because when he comes back, and he always does, he'll come back with a bang, and then it's very difficult to beat him. So so those are the opportunities that Valtteri really needs to use.
Look, Nico, you know him well, you know him personally. What drives him? Because this is a relentless career. You have to be super fit, you know, you have to go all over the world all the time. What drives Lewis Hamilton, do you feel?
Well, we have one thing in common, that we're just ultra competitive, and we live and breathe winning the next race, winning championships, and that's really what makes him stand out in that way. He's so damn competitive. I mean, even when we were 14, the competition between us, it was in everything in life. It wasn't even just on the racetrack, it was just everywhere. And that's phenomenal, to be so relentless that you still have motivation to go for even more. Once you get 5, 6, now 7 titles, that's so impressive, because of course there's always that risk that the motivation will start to die out when you've achieved just so much. There's not much more to achieve out there. And that's an incredible achievement as well. And that's what makes it so special, to not only just win one championship, but so many. Lose my money down. It still has to go on Lewis, because nobody can fathom somebody actually beating Lewis throughout the entire season on points. So the money would still have to go to Lewis. But Max Verstappen in particular is as close as ever before to pre-season in terms of the odds to beat Lewis to the championship. I don't think anybody's been that close in the last many, many years.
Okay, so Lewis, he only needs to make 4 points. I don't even know what the hell he needs to do. I don't know, top 8 or something like that. And Bottas needs to win, and if Bottas doesn't win, then he's world champion. So, of course, 100% he's going to be world champion this weekend, which is pretty unbelievable.
It just showed how good he is, really trying to go for the win there with an incredibly difficult strategy of one stop. Nearly managed. I was so close at the end there. Great battle with Valtteri. That was nice to follow, and congrats Valtteri. You know, he deserved the win here this weekend. He was driving really well, and then congrats Lewis, even more so, for 6th world title. 6 titles, isn't that crazy? It's unbelievable, huh? Going on for Schumacher records, unreal.
How long do you want to see him go on for? How long do you think he can? You know how challenging this career is.
Well, I think to hear that for the opposition is going to be a bit of a scary thing. For for the likes of Bottas or Verstappen or Vettel or whoever else is still out there, if he's saying it's just the beginning, my goodness, I mean, where is he going to end up with? So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be interested to follow as well his decisions, what he decides to do going forward, since he hasn't done a contract yet for next year. But I'm racing him. As you see behind me, this is my Rosberg Extreme Racing team for Extreme E, which is new championship. And I'll be racing him in that championship because he's also created a team. So I'm very excited to take on our competition once again, and this time all for the good cause for fighting climate change.
Oh, wonderful. It sounds like a great cause. Well done for doing that. Who's going to win that one then?
Well, I don't like coming second, so I'll be to be on top again.